everyone, and welcome back to the pool. So this is the full vlog of me opening the pool. I'm sorry I have to do a voiceover, but the audio in these clips are really bad. So we start with draining all that gross water off the top of the cover and getting that all taken care of. It's so nasty. Oh my gosh. So this is what we're left with. Now, if you have two people, it's a lot easier to uncover your pool, but I did it by myself. So I managed to get it all into one bunch, but this is me just trying to take this or undo the lock, and I've never done this, so it took me a minute to figure it out. I had to put my phone down and just do it. So I got it unclipped, and so I'm very carefully rolling this cover over to one side. It did pick up water when I was pulling it off, so I did have to put the sump pump down inside the cover to get the water out so I could pull it on off of the wall of the pool, but you'll see it kind of bunched up to the right in the next clip right there. So no big deal. This is a shot of the winter pills that I used, and they are terrible. I do not recommend those because you see what it did to my water. Absolutely terrible. And so I just throw the hose in and start filling it up. It has to be up above the intakes for you to run it, and you can't run your pump until it's done. So you have to get that water in there as fast as you can. And yeah, so that's just me showing y'all the cover, and it was full of water. I don't know how. I must have dropped one side of it off, but this is what I was left with. Got my pump all hooked up, and ended up having to actually replace my pump. There's going to be a video about that later, but it did not want to backwash and rinse. It ran fine, but I think the gear that switched it went out. I called Intex. The pump's 8 years old, so I definitely got my money's worth. But I put 1 gallon of this liquid chlorine in. I got this at Walmart. It was $6.97 or something like that. And this is what it did, literally within a few hours. So I hooked up my Intex skimmer. I have had the same skimmer for 11 years, and it finally, it was fine, but the little handle on the basket broke, so I ended up having to replace it. I actually used it like that last year. I didn't have to replace it, but it was old and faded, and I was afraid that this would probably be the year it would end up cracking. But I mean, it's good. There's really nothing wrong with it other than the little handles broke off. But when you hook these skimmers up, you have to make sure you get these pieces tight on your pool wall. That is what keeps them from floating up. Everybody complains about these floating up. Mine has never floated up. Look how tight that goes. If you put it on there and get it good and tight, it's fine. You have to make sure that you adjust and I'm trying to do this with one hand and hold my phone, but you just unscrew this and let the basket drop down to where the water level is skimming the top. Now, when I fill my pool on up, I will raise it up. It's really low right now just because, well, you'll see later in the video, I do fill the pool on up, but so you just hook your hose from the skimmer to one of your intakes, and you can see how great these skimmers work. This is sped up a little bit just for time's sake, but yeah, I mean, it pulls everything, and I cannot tell you how many times I emptied this skimmer the first week of opening this pool. But this is day 2, I think, and day 2. And that's all I used was this 1 gallon, and you can see day 1 and day 2, the big difference. Now, the big problem here is that I'm really freaking short, so I can't reach the center of the pool to scrub it until I get my poles out. But you can see I did brush it, and it does throw everything up into the water, so don't panic. It is going to go even more green when you start scrubbing the algae off the liner. Don't freak out. Your pump will take care of this. But make sure that you're backwashing and rinsing your pump twice a day when you're doing this process. That's the only time you have to do it like that. but it just gets all of that algae out of your filtration system and out of your water. But yeah, that was literally 10 minutes after I hooked the skimmer up. I wanted to see how good it was doing, make sure I had it set right. And I went out there like day 3 and it was full to the top. So I had to literally take it out, knock the stuff out of it, and I had to go take it in the house and wash it. It picks up so good. These things are so worth the money. They're like $22, and you don't have to cut your liner or anything like that like you do if you put in a Hayward skimmer. If you put in a Hayward skimmer, you cut your liner and you lose like 6 inches of your water level. That's a lot of water to lose. I'm not doing that. I'm not compromising my liner. That's just me showing that I did finally replace that skimmer. They did change the color too. This is the chlorine tablets I use. Everybody always asks me. This is what I use for my chlorine. I get them and this is day 3. So day 3, I had put 1 bag of shock in it, and this is the shock that I use. And these are the chemicals I use all summer. I buy them in the wintertime. They're like half price on Amazon if you get them in the wintertime. But the shock extra blue is what I get. And that's all I use. I float consistently. See how good that thing works? But I float 2 chlorine tablets until summer gets like up in the 80s, 90s. Then I float 3. And then usually every 3 or 4 weeks, I'll throw like 1 bag of shock in. Never have any trouble with my water. But you can see there, that's the spot I cannot reach without a pole. My husband did get my pole out. This video is like a week old. He did get my pole out for me, and I was able to finally get everything brushed. He did help me brush everything out real good. I'm going to show you the final after pictures of everything being cleaned up and ready to go. But yes, that winter peel left a weird white film on the bottom of my pool, and I did end up getting that off. I was terrified that it had stained it or bleached it out, but it's actually good, as you can see in this next photo. And I just had to go back through and vacuum. So this is current day, like it's like the I don't even know what day it is, like the 23rd, I think. And I just had to go back in and vacuum it today and get all of that cleaned up, and this is what we look like now. So my liner is blue, my water is full, everything is ready, and now I'm just waiting on it to warm up. And the weather is just going crazy right now. We go from hot to cold, but you know, that's how April is in Kentucky, and probably going to be May before we can actually get in and swim. But I do just love sitting on the deck of the night and listening to the water and everything. So we're going to see you guys next time. Happy swimming. Welcome to pool season 26.